You won't be on screen right away anyway. I've got this lovely little cover. So we went live, but we are still hidden because I will let some people hop on because I know we have some fans who are going to be joining us shortly. But I have a little voting thing because I know we talked about the covers last time. So I will leave those up for a minute or two until we get some viewers. And I sent your assistant the the link so that she can share the post.
Did you get them?
I'm looking.
Someone asked me once why we don't put music in the background of like our videos while we wait for people to join, and I simply don't do that because of copyright issues.
We could hum and sing.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I usually sing song most of my words anyway, but I did not. I need to find some like copyright free music.
Elevator music.
Yeah, music without words.
Exactly. Something like that. All right. I'm going to share the link a few other places as well. We can get some friends. Hello, Abby. Abigail, do you have a preference? I realized you wrote Abigail today, but I feel like usually you write Abby. So I want to make sure I say it right. So leave your comment on which of these covers you prefer, just because we're taking a random poll because we talked about these covers last time. Which one do you like best? Neither of these has the smashed frog background.
No.
That, as we discussed, that was turned down. I did notice the background of the leaves in this one. Vines, ivy. Hello, Ellie.
Hi, Abby. Hi, Allie.
I did forget my headphones today, so I might be a little bit noisier, but I try to cut down the background noise as much as I can. All right, now we've got some friends on here. Hello, hello. Okay, she's starting. I understand. You know, you turn 8 and you want to sound, you know, you want to be more grown up. So she prefers to be called Abigail. So I asked. And our friend Addison is here as well.
Edison, hi.
All right, so this disembodied voice is Liz from Capricoast Books. We will go ahead and get started here, and I will hop on for a second. I will show both of us. Oh, hello, hello. Now that you can see us on screen, I know. We're like, oh, let's fix our hair. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Hi, again, I'm Liz from Capricoast Books. And now you can see my earrings and all that fun stuff, because normally I have headphones on because it's easier. But without further ado, I will introduce our wonderful author. I always do this the wrong way. Author Edie Baker here. And so welcome. We will just go ahead and get started. I will let you read, and then at the end, I have some fun stuff to share with you.
Okay.
So, oh, you know what? Actually, I lied. I'm going to have to share it now because I realized that I did this so that it could be up while you were reading. So at the beginning, we shared, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you again, but we had these pictures up of the covers, but what I made I thought was really fun was actually a compilation of all the different Frog Princess covers that you had on your website of all the different, not all of the different countries, a small sampling of all the Frog Princess covers from different countries. So I will let you read, but I thought that would be a fun cover-up picture for me while you read.
All right. Chapter 1 of The Frog Princess. Even as a little girl, I had thought that the swamp was a magical place where new lives began and old ones ended, where enemies and heroes weren't always what one expected, and where anything could happen, even to a clumsy princess. Although I'd believed this for most of my life, I had no proof until Prince Jorge came to visit, and I met the frog of my dreams. I had gone to the swamp to avoid the prince, a favorite of my mother's, but never of mine. My escape hadn't been planned, yet the moment I heard that Jorge was coming, I knew I couldn't stay. Normally, few people in the castle ever seemed to notice me, so it was easy to sneak away undetected and flee to the swamp. It was only after I was secure in my escape that I began to worry about how my mother would react. I could almost see the disdain in her eyes as she gave me her usual speech about the proper behavior of a princess. Although I saw her as infrequently as we both could manage, I'd long since grown accustomed to that look. Thinking more about my mother than I was about my surroundings, I almost stepped on a snake that had slithered onto the path from the tall grass. I shrieked and jumped back, catching my heel on the root of an old willow tree. With my arms flung wide, I tried to keep my balance, but my long, heavy skirts and usual clumsiness overwhelmed me, and I landed hard on the rain-soaked earth. Grasshoppers exploded up from the ground as I floundered about, struggling to get to my feet, my gown soaking in the pungent odor of the swamp. Unfortunately, being born a princess doesn't automatically make a girl graceful or confident, a fact I've lamented for most of my 14 years. When I'd finally gathered my skirts and pushed myself off the ground, the snake had disappeared into the tall swamp grass. I edged away, searching for something that I could use to defend myself should the snake reappear. "Thanks a lot," said a throaty voice. I looked around, but there was no one in sight. "Who said that?" I asked. Aside from my Aunt Christina, I was the only one from the castle who ever visited the swamp. "It's me over here. You aren't very observant, are you?" I turned toward the voice and looked high and low, but all I could see was the pond, its murky water partially rimmed with a halo of algae, and a stand of cattails at the far end. Aside from the dragonflies, mosquitoes, and water striders, the only other living creature was a frog glaring at me from the edge of the pond. I jumped when he spoke again, although it wasn't so much his words that surprised me as seeing his lips move. I'm used to magic, for my Aunt Christina is a witch, but no animal had ever spoken to me before. "I was going to eat those grasshoppers for lunch, but because of you, I'll never catch them now." The frog scowled, shaking his webbed finger in my direction. "A big lumping girl like you should be more careful where she puts her feet." "I'm sorry," I said, offended. "I didn't mean to. It was an accident." "Ha!" said the frog. "Apologies won't bring back my lunch. But then it wouldn't matter to you, would it? I bet you've never gone hungry a day in your life." The frog annoyed me. It was enough that I had to watch my tongue around my mother. I wasn't about to do it around a frog as well. "For your information," I said, frowning at the little creature, "I haven't eaten a thing all day. My mother invited Prince Jorge to visit, and I left home before he arrived. I couldn't bear the thought of spending an entire day with him." "What is wrong with you?" demanded the frog, curling his lip. "Missing a meal because you don't like someone? You would never catch me doing that. I know Jorge, and even he isn't." The frog blinked, and his eyes opened wide. He looked closer, scrutinizing me from head to toe as if seeing me for the first time. "Wait a minute. If your mother invited a prince to visit, does that mean that you're a princess?" "Maybe," I said. The frog grinned from eardrum to eardrum. Straightening his smooth green shoulders, he bowed from where his waist would have been if he'd had one. "I do apologize, Your Highness. If I had realized that you were such an exalted personage, I would never have made such churlish comments." I groaned and rolled my eyes. "Give me a break. I hate it when people talk that way. I liked you better before you knew I was a princess." "Aha!" said the frog. He hopped toward me, his eyes never leaving my face. "I'm delighted to hear that you like me. In that case, would you be so kind as to do me the eensy-weensiest little favor?" "And what might that be?" I asked, regretting my question even before the words were out of my mouth. "Would you do me the honor of giving me a kiss?" I couldn't help but laugh. I guffawed. I chortled. I wheezed. I laughed like I always do. Startled blackbird took it to the air as if hurled from a little boy's slingshot. A turtle basking in the sun scuttled off his rock and plopped into the water. The frog stared at me through narrowed eyes. "Are you sure you're a princess? You don't laugh like one." "I know," I said, wiping away tears. "My mother tells me that all the time. According to her, a princess's laughter should sound like the tinkling of a bell, not the bray of a donkey. I've told her that I can't help it. My laugh is not something I can control, not if it's sincere. I don't think about it. It just happens. Whatever you say, said the frog. So how about that kiss? Puckering his lips, he rose up on his toes and raised his face in my direction. I shook my head. Sorry, I am not interested in kissing a frog. I've been told that kissing a frog is good for the complexion, he said, sidling toward me. I doubt it. Anyway, my complexion is fine. What about the old saying, kissing a frog would bring you luck? I've never heard that saying. It can't be too old. I think you just made it up. All kissing a frog would bring me is slimy lips. I shuddered and backed away. The answer is no, so quit asking. The frog sighed and scratched the side of his head with his toe. Maybe he would feel otherwise if he knew that I was a prince turned into a frog by an evil witch. I had the misfortune to criticize her fashion sense. She didn't take kindly to my comments. What does that have to do with a kiss? If I can get a princess to kiss me, I'll turn back into a prince. It's not very flattering to me now, is it? All you need is a kiss from any old princess. A girl likes to think that her very first kiss will be something special. Well, I'm not going to kiss you. I have no idea where you've been. I could catch some awful disease. Besides, considering what you must eat, I bet you have awful breath. Well, said the frog. He drew himself up to his full froggy height. Now you are being rude. I simply asked you for the courtesy of a small favor, and instead you insult me. That was a big favor, and you know it. I kiss only people I like, and I just met you. But this is important. It's a matter of life or froghood. I'm sorry. I am not in the habit of kissing strangers, regardless of their species. Can't you get someone else to kiss you? There must be another princess you could ask. Someone petite who doesn't trip over her own feet. Although I wasn't about to admit it to the frog, his comment about my size still rankled. I had heard the same kind of remark from my mother many times, but it never stopped bothering me. Sure. I asked one of the hundreds of other princesses who were hanging around the swamp begging to be kissed. I'd had enough. Gathering my skirts in one hand, I turned to go. If that's the way you're going to be, I'm leaving. I left the castle today so I wouldn't have to visit with an obnoxious prince. Now here I am, talking to an obnoxious frog who says he's a prince. No, wait, come back, called the frog. You can't go now. This is an emergency. Where's your compassion? Where's your sympathy? Where's my kiss? I stopped at the edge of the path and tried to speak in a calm voice. It wasn't easy, and I'm afraid my words came out sounding short and sharp. I don't care if it's the end of the world as we know it, I said between gritted teeth. I have better things to do with my time than listen to an unreasonable request from a frog. Good day, frog. The last thing I saw before I turned to leave was the hopeless look in the frog's eyes. It was the look of someone in terrible trouble. It was a look that would haunt me for the rest of the day. That was chapter 1 of The Frog Princess with this cover.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. So
it looks like most of our votes are for that cover.
that cover. Okay. So let's see. This was the first one, which you have right there. And then I also have foreign covers and a couple more than you have there, I think. This one, I'm not sure where this is from.
Ooh.
Oops. I'll have to look up and see where it's from.
My favorite. That's it, yeah.
This is. So it looks like German.
I was gonna. That's funny because that was gonna be my guess.
Yeah. I think it's German, but anyways, there's. I can't do this yet. There.
There you go. You got it. That's pretty. I like that one.
And then this is my favorite because it has illustrations inside. This is from Italy.
Yes.
The one that you've got. No, you don't have this one up there.
Yeah, it's the lower left one. What does the title translate to here?
I can't read it. Incantissima, Bacchi, Ronacci, and Principessa. So something in the princess. But anyways, it has some very nice illustrations inside. Here's the very beginning. There. I like that. That's the duckling.
Aw. I do like this cover too. It's definitely a fun animation or not moving. Oh wow.
And they even have 2-page.
Wow.
So,
oh, that beautiful tapestry. That's a nice little drawing there.
Isn't it? Anyways, that's the reason I really like this one. Italian illustration or Italian version because it has so many really nice illustrations.
Oh, that makes sense, Ellie. Ellie says that she thinks it translates to magic, kisses, frogs, and princesses.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Ellie. I won't show all of them, but just if I can find them. I know there's at least one more double page.
You're very wiggly.
Oh. Well, I can't find another double page. Oh, this one's really cute, though.
Oh, I like that. I like that it's interactive type writing.
It goes across the page over there. Anyways, so that was the Italian.
And
is this Japanese? I think this is Japanese because it's backwards. I mean,
there we go.
See.
Oh, that's pretty too.
Let's see, it opens backwards.
Wow, yes.
And if anybody can tell me what writing this is, then we will know.
There we go. Exactly. That is definitely a cute cover. It's so funny how different they are depending on the country.
I know. Every country is different. I don't know what this is. Argentina. No. Spain. Barcelona.
Oh.
One of these days I'll figure out how to really do this.
That's all right. Oh, I like that one too. That one's pretty. I like that it's a kind of a combination of the first
original
US cover, the original cover.
I think you have the rest.
And then in the upper left we have the Frog Princess, the I believe that was the UK version. I like that illustration too with the
they have an anthology of it right here.
Skinny neck frog.
I know. That's 3 books, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense because it says the tales of.
Did anyone send pictures for drawings of their own?
Yes, that's what I was going to share with Nat.
Let me see.
All right, I know it's one of our favorite times. So the first one I will put up is from our friend Addison.
Very nice, Addison.
It's gorgeous hand.
Hands are hard to do.
Yes, and a lovely charm bracelet there.
Yes, very nice.
And then at the last moment, our friend Abigail sent this fun frame. It says E.D. Baker, #1 author.
It does. Well, thank you.
So yes, those were the drawings that we had sent in. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you being here. Does anyone have any questions? And, well, my first question is, what are we reading next week?
Oh.
So I can prepare my cover presentations.
Yeah. Next week is going to be.
Is it Dragon's Breath?
It's Dragon's Breath.
Okay. I looked, and it's funny because I've looked at different
Do you see it anywhere?
charts about what order they're in, and like you said, the salamander spell is technically so. Sometimes books can be written chronologically. Sometimes they're done as the author writes them, and then sometimes the story goes back, so it's called a prequel, but they're written later. So it depends on what kind of order you want to read them in.
Okay, sorry, I can't find it right now.
That's okay. We'll have it for next week. I just wanted to make sure that I was going to have the right one for everybody. I'm excited to read that one.
Well, after I wrote Frog Princess, my editor, I did not have an agent then. The person who was my editor then is my agent now. But my editor said, would you like to write a prequel? And I said, well, actually, I know of a sequel I want to do. And she said, oh, okay, do that. So that
keep going.
That was Dragon's Breath. And then after a few more books, I did the prequel. But I already had thought of what I wanted to do with Dragon's Breath, so I went with that. And I called it Dragon's Breath from the beginning. And the marketing people at my publisher did not like that. They said it sounds too much like halitosis, like bad breath. And I said, I didn't think so, that I thought this was a perfect title for it. And then they went with it, and no one ever said it sounded like bad breath.
No, I definitely thought that, but I don't think that's I mean, bad breath is a bad thing, but I don't think dragon's breath is negative in this sense. Like it makes me it's just magical feeling. My question actually for you is because I was talking about writing them chronologically versus going back. Do you recommend for somebody who's reading them for the very first time, would you recommend reading them in a particular order, the way they were written?
I would recommend reading Salamander Spell first because I mean, although I wrote it later, it really is the beginning of the whole saga.
Okay, so it's funny. There's another series that I read or read most of them, and I recommend reading them in the order written. Even though it's nice to know the history, but I like that in the first one written, he refers to this history, and it hasn't really been created yet. It wasn't written yet. So I don't know. It's so interesting to hear an author's perspective on that. So Ellie asks, is the Frog Princess related to the Disney movie? We all know that answer. Absolutely.
Yes, it is. Shortly after the Frog Princess came out, Disney contacted me and asked and wanted to option it for a movie. And originally it sounded more like it was going to be closer to the book, but then they had a lot of changes going on in Disney, and it took them a while to actually get around to making the movie. And by then it changed very much. It was, set in New Orleans with totally different characters and everything. But it was still very, very loosely, a little bit there, based on the Frog Princess. The Princess and the Frog was the movie. So, yeah. But originally it was going to be the Frog Princess. And then people said that was derogatory towards somebody. So they put the Princess and the Frog.
Frogs, I mean.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody else have any other questions? Keep it nice and short. We have our friends again, Addison, Abigail, excuse me, and Ellie. And I will I'm gonna put their pictures up one more time just so we can share their fun drawings. Addison, I love it. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate your photos that you're sending us. So definitely send us some more. We'd love to see your art. I want to see your dragon's breath art. That's our next challenge. So yeah.
And also, if you can think of another title for Dragon's Breath, what would you have called it?
There you go. And I don't know if Abby has read it yet, but I know Addison has. So I know she has. So we'll see what she says. And again, this is live right now. I mean, it's Wednesday, May. I don't even know. March, May, May 27th. But if you're rewatching this, you can still leave your comments and we will be able to answer them the next session, which will be next Wednesday at 3:00. And you can leave all your comments. Yeah, she says not yet. She hasn't read it yet. And then Addison says she personally thinks the book is better than the movie. Of course, the book is always better. The book is always better. But it sounds like they're different, so you can have different opinions and different ideas. That's good. But it's so nice that they took at least some basis of your story. So that's wonderful.
Very basic premise. And I think the jar of lips or something, and the jar of eyeballs. In the witch's house in the swamp.
Now I have to rewatch the movie after reading. I'll read the book first, and then I'll watch the movie and compare notes. But I think that's it. All right. Well, that was a quick, nice, and little easy one today. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, have a wonderful day. Bye. We will see you next week. Bye. Don't forget to invite your friends, too.
Yeah,
and think of some good questions and share your art.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Bye.